Thank you so much for taking the time. Good to see you. Before we start, can you give us a short introduction? What is your background and how did you learn about bitmark?
Hi, Lisa. Well, thanks for having me. I'm Roman. I'm living in Switzerland, and I'm actually a high school teacher. I create learning content for many years for different publishing houses and also for LinkedIn Learning. I work with text, with video, with audio, and I like to make my content as interactive as possible.
That sounds great. So you as a content creator, digital content creator, what are the most common pain points authors and content creators have when it comes to digitalizing education content?
Well, first of all, I think all content creators want to develop good content that is relevant, that people like to read or to watch, and that sells well. After all, that's the business behind it. Secondly, the content, the learning content should be up to date. It's crucial that learning content represents the latest scientific standards. And the special aspect of learning content is actually that it has to be simple. It must take out the complexity of a subject. And after all, that's a lot of work for content creators. They have to manage a lot of challenges, and they need a tool that helps with these challenges.
How would bitmark solve these pain points, these problems?
Well, bitmark helps to create instructional content from scratch. I already mentioned it. Learning content is about simplifying and structuring and organizing topics. For this, bitmark is a great tool because the basic idea of bitmark is that you break down the content into smaller parts, so-called bits. Each bit has a specific purpose. Each bit is labeled with this purpose. It's marked. That's why we call it bitmark, actually. You can immediately see the learning purpose of a bit. It's a knowledge text, it's an instructional example, it's an exercise, it's a video, it's a summary, or is it a best practice case? It's all in this bit, and you can see it immediately what type of learning this content makes possible. And when you are entering bitmark content, you automatically think about the learning purpose of each bit and of the content. So with bitmark, you automatically create good, thoughtful, and instructional content.
Okay, so how would the process or how would the learning content be different and look different, and the process would be different when you use bitmark instead of not using bitmark?
Well, I think the difference is with bitmark, you not only create good content, you also create smart content. That's quite an important difference, because smart content means that you can easily use these individual bits and your content in many different ways. Bitmark content is great for smartphone apps. It can also be used in chatbots or in AI apps. Of course, you can use bitmark modules to create entire website and online courses. Or you can use them for traditional printing by combining them into chapters and books. The possibilities are actually endless, and because the content is very modular and structured, you can adapt it to your needs very quickly.
Have you any tips for other content creators or users when it comes to bitmark?
You can use bitmark modules multiple times. That's quite an important thing. You can use the content in parallel places, and the cool thing is that you can quickly update the content in one central place, and then it will be refreshed everywhere. Bitmark offers dozens of predefined bits with which you can easily create interactive learning content. You can use quizzes like multiple choice or closed text or essays. You can create surveys, bots, and even multimedia content with video and audio. And the most important thing, Bitmark is open source, so it's defined as a standard. Learning content created with Bitmark can be used in all systems and apps that support this Bitmark standard. So it's actually like the HTML of learning content.
Thank you so much for your time and for answering these questions.
Thank you.